Hey, 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 welcome back everyone. It's Kaz with Yu-Gi-Oh! Millennium Duels. So in the last tutorial that I had, I explained to you the types of cards that there were, and now I'm going to go into a little demonstration of how to play the cards. We're also going to get an understanding better of the phases of gameplay and how Yu-Gi-Oh! Kind of flows. So I will try to explain my best on how to play this game. We're going to do a kind of a beginner's level. We're going to pick a beginner's level opponent. So we'll go and we'll get Taya, who's very weak. And this way, I just want to show you the way that the game flows and how the cards come together. So I'm going to take my beat stick deck, and this is the deck that I showed you in the last tutorial. I'm going to show you how the game kind of flows. So first, you're always going to play rock, paper, scissors. So this will determine who gets to go first. And Taya will go first. So the first thing that happens is each player draws 5 cards. And you'll see she draws 5 and I draw 5. I cannot see her hand, and then she begins by drawing 1 card. She's going to play this card that will begin to deplete my life points. And you'll see each player at the top has a life points of 8,000, and the winner will be the one whose life points go lower. So I'm sorry, that card increases her life points. So she has a deck that increases her life points. That's going to make it more difficult for me to deplete them, but not too much. So we're going to take a look at our cards here. So what you'll have here is, if you see right in the middle of the field, you'll have um, uh, DP, SP, MP1, BP, MP2, and EP. So the first thing of any phase is the draw phase. That means you draw 1 card. And as you saw, as my draw phase happened, I drew 1 card. You can play effects in any one of these phases. Sometimes you'll have to have the specific type of card that you need to activate during these phases. Normally, the draw phase means draw 1 card. Then the second phase would be the standby phase. Standby phase is a maintenance phase. It really means if you have cards with certain effects that you have to pay for or pay to maintain, it usually happens in the standby phase. At any time, if you have cards that will trigger, you can then play them in the standby phase. So it's also in a phase where you can affect the gameplay as well. Then you'll have main phase one. Main phase one is normally where you summon. You can summon a monster, play spell cards, set traps. It really is where the meat of the game comes into play. And as you can see, Taya has put a monster down, which has an effect that says, give her 500 life points for every card in the opponent's hand. This is very powerful. It gave her 2,500 life points. So she's risen her life points from 8,000 to 10,700 just by her first opening card salvo that she's played. So she's put me at a disadvantage for life points. For me, life points are not the most important thing. Obviously, if you lose all your life points, it will be you'll lose the game. So it's not a good thing to lose all your life points. But in the instance of playing Taya, she raises her life points, which if I can get a good mount a good offense, that will be irrelevant. So she cannot raise her life points to a point where I won't be able to destroy everything and get her to 0 life points. So as you see, she has monster and she set 2 cards. These may be spells or traps. It could be a bluff. They could be cards that don't do anything. But you'll always want to open up your gameplay by having a monster on the field. In this way, you block your life points, and setting some sort of thing in your spell or trap. So here, the top row is your monsters. So you can summon 5 monsters, and then your field of monsters is full. And at the bottom is your spells and traps, where you activate your spells or you set your traps. So um, whenever you activate a card, such as a spell or a trap, It then goes to the graveyard. This is your graveyard. It's a place where you expend the effect and then you put the card in the graveyard. Certain things happen in the graveyard, so it's not like it's a useless area. To the contrary, sometimes you want to use your graveyard to a devastating effect against your opponent. But we'll go into that at a certain other time. I don't really have too many things that activate into the graveyard. You also have the banish from play. And this is a different dynamic which really just allows you to take them out of play. A graveyard is in play, and that's the out of play field. However, there are effects and monsters that are used from the out of play section. So we won't get into that because my deck does not really use that dynamic. But so you have 5 monster zones. This is a zone where you can summon up to 5 monsters, and once you do that, you can no longer summon. And you have 5 spell or traps zones, and once you fill these up, once again, you cannot do anything. Your hand can only contain 6 cards. If you have more than 6 cards when you end your turn, which is denoted by the EP end phase, you have to discard 1 card of your choice to the graveyard. So you want to always have enough cards in your hand that you never have to discard a card, because that's like a waste. All right, so what I want to do here is I want to start to build field advantage. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to try to eliminate her options. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to begin to summon monsters. And if you remember, 4-star monsters can be played directly from your hand. It's called a normal summon, and you get 1 normal summon per turn. However, there are additional summons that you can perform, like special summons, and that will allow you to special summon as many as you can. If you have 4 special summon monsters, you can bring them to the field in your main phase, or whatever the text of the card allows you to do. So sometimes the rules of the game are superseded by the effects of the card. So that's important to know. In this case, I'm going to use Sergeant Electro, and Sergeant Electro has an effect. He's one of my most important cards, and he has an effect that says once per turn, I can target a face down card in the opponent's spell or trap zone, and they cannot use that card. Also, it says when I summon, you cannot activate it. So that gives me a bunch of assurances that my opponent really can't do anything when I bring out this card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to normal summon the card, and you'll see the icon for the like a tornado, which is denoting a summon. And you can also put cards into what's called face down defense position, and that's a way to block the attacks of your opponent. So you can put them in face up attack, or you can put them in sideways face down, which is a defense position. What I'm going to do is I'm going to summon this into face up attack position, and we'll go ahead and select the summon. All right, so now he's on the field, and Taya activates a card in response, and that card is called Trap Hole. And Trap Hole says, well, when your opponent normal or flip summons, if the monster has 1,000 or more attack, destroy that monster. So as you can see, my monster is in the graveyard because she destroyed it. So that gives her advantage over me, because now she has a monster in attack position who can attack my life points. But I'm not going to give her the pleasure of doing that. I'm going to right now I'm going to stop. I have 5 cards in my hand and she has 2. So at this point I have card advantage. So I have many more options than she does, and I'm going to use that because that's important to me. So first I'm going to do is play Swords of Revealing Light. And Swords of Revealing Light means she cannot attack for 3 turns. So that guards my life points against her attacking me directly. So now she cannot attack. And then what I will do is I will set my Dust Tornado, which has the effect of destroying 1 card on the field. And what I'm planning to do is, as soon as I end my turn, I'm going to destroy this card. I don't want to know what it is or what its function is. I'm simply going to destroy it before she gets a chance to use it. So then what we're going to do is we're going to go into our phases. And the battle phase allows you to conduct battle, and I'll get into that as we get to that point in the game when we have a battle condition. Or you can just go to the end phase, and the end phase has certain things that you can do. It's all depending on card effects and those sorts of things. But basically, the end phase says, "I finish my turn. Now it's your turn." And in this case, I'm going to finish my turn and allow Taya to take her turn. But here's the thing: when she draws, since I've satisfied the condition of a trap, once after my end phase, I can activate a trap. I'm going to immediately activate my trap to destroy whatever card she has hidden there and get it off the field. This way, I take away another one of her options. She can, of course, respond to my card by flipping that card over if it has conditions that can be used, and in effect, use the effect, negating my destroying of her card. So it's a little bit complicated, but you'll see what I mean. So I'm going to end my turn, and she's going to destroy that card. So she did exactly what I was going to do to her. She picked the wrong card because the AI is kind of stupid. And now she's going to tribute summon for a larger monster. So she's brought out an 1800 level 6 monster by tributing one of her cards, and she's brought out a larger attack monster. So this puts her at an advantage as she has a larger attack. However, I have Swords of Revealing Light, which says she cannot attack. So I've kind of stalled her. That's called a stalling tactic, and I plan to stall her. So in this case, I will draw 3 times before she gets to attack me. And hopefully in the 3 times that I draw, I will have something that counteracts whatever she's trying to do. Once again, I have 4 cards in my hand to her 2, which means I have card control or card advantage. Now, what I'm going to begin to do is I'm going to, if I can get this monster off the field, she has a clear field, and that means that I can attack her life points directly. So first I'm going to use Smashing Ground, which will destroy 1 face-up card that she has. Since she only has 1, it's going to destroy that 1 monster. So we're going to go ahead and play it. I will activate its effect, and that will destroy her card and send her monster to the graveyard. This now allows me a clear shot at her. I don't have to worry about her doing anything or having any defense whatsoever. She's wide open to attack. So what I'll do is I will summon this monster. It's going to ask me, do you want to summon without tributing? Since I don't have a card on the field or monster on the field, I couldn't tribute anyway. So I will say, yeah, I'm going to tribute without doing any. I'm going to normal summon without tributing, and then it gives me the backup effect, which says, well, the original attack goes from 23 to 18. That's fine. I don't care. I will take the 1800. So I will answer yes. I will summon that card, and then I will go into the battle phase. Now, here's the dynamic of battle. When you have battle, usually what it means is you're going to take the 1800, and if you have no defense, then it's going to subtract from the life points directly. All right, so if I do an attack, you will see that Taya's life points will be subtracted by 1800. So I'll do an attack. It's called a direct attack because she has no defense. Then what I'll do is I'll go into main phase 2, and main phase 2 is essentially the same as main phase 1. It allows you to do strategic moves, set monsters, summon monsters, set more traps, activate spell cards. It's all very complex and very strategic, but what you're essentially doing is you get a second chance to, based on what happens within the battle phase, you can then set more traps or do more defensive moves or have a secondary strategy to counteract any ill effects that happened in the battle phase. In this case, I didn't have any ill effects, but I want to try to protect this monster. So if she does have the ability to bring out a more powerful monster, I will use my negate attack to stop that and to end her ability to attack. So we'll go ahead and set this trap, and then I will end my turn. She will draw 1 card. She will raise her life points by 200, which, as I said, is irrelevant. Now, what she's doing is she's setting a card, and this is basically blocking my ability to attack her life points directly. Okay, so this tactic is a defensive tactic, which I don't get to see what the card is. I have no idea what it does. It may have an effect that kind of is detrimental to me, but essentially, to get to her life points, I have to destroy this card. And when you're doing the battle phase, my attack has to be higher than her defense. So if she has an 1800 or higher, I will get what's called deflection damage. So let's suppose that her monster is 1800 as well, there'll be no damage. But if let's suppose her monster is 2000, I will receive 200 points of damage, whatever the difference is between my attack and her defense. So the point is moot because I've drawn a really good card, which allows me to tribute this card to destroy a monster on her side of the field. So we're going to take advantage of that. I'm going to summon this card, and then I'm going to activate the effect of the card. And you'll see that it goes to my graveyard, and it allows me to destroy her card. This gives me a direct line into her life points, and once again, I will hit her for 1800, and you will see that her life points will be depleted by 1800. Okay, then what I will do is I will skip my main phase 2 since I don't really need to do anything, but one of my options is I can put this card on the field as sort of a bluff, because that's really all it'll do is a bluff. But you should always have something that is hidden so that the opponent is kind of fearful of actually doing a move, or at least they have to keep in the back of their mind that that card could be something that is detrimental to their strategy. So in this case, I don't have to do that. She's got one card and I have field advantage over her. So she really has to get a really good draw to overcome the field that I've put up. So we're going to go ahead and end the turn. She's going to draw one card. She's probably going to set a monster down. No, she's going to use the effect, which gives her 500. Not the most smartest thing, because if you'll notice, her monster has 800 attack and my monster has 1800. So she's going to take 1,000 points of damage. Plus, I'm going to destroy her monster. So we have 2 drawing cards in our hand, and this will allow us to draw an extra card, but I don't need it because I really have advantage over her. So I will go ahead and enter my battle phase. I will attack this monster. I will win because my monster has a higher attack than the attack of her monster. And once you subtract the attack of mine to her, whatever is left over is subtracted from her life points. So we'll go ahead and do an attack. She'll take 1,000 points. That monster will be destroyed from battle, and I will end my turn. Now she's really on the ropes. She cannot really do too much, so what she's going to do is start doing defensive maneuvers. I still have advantage over her, unless of course she was lucky enough to draw a card with a very high defense, higher defense than the attack of this monster. I doubt it, so I'm just going to enter my battle phase, and we're going to attack. That card gives her 1 card to draw, which is a good move. Now she is accumulating more cards. What happens in this type of attack is if she's in defense position, she basically guards her life points. So as you can see, I destroyed the monster, but I didn't attack her life points. So that's a defensive maneuver that will basically prevent me from attacking her life points. So that's good. You're getting to see a lot of the gameplay elements. So I'm going to end my turn because there's not too much I can do. And she is starting to get card advantage over me, but I know for a fact that she's not going to be able to overcome what I have. I am not drawing any monsters, so I'm not able to get field advantage, but I'm sure that I will be able to destroy the monster she put down. And once again, she's stalling. At this point, she's really just putting up defenses to prevent me from depleting her life points. And I'll end my turn. And she's really relying on the luck of the draw at this point. And we're going to go through this unless I get a new monster, which I have. This is a level 4 monster, which is 1900. And now I have field advantage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my lesser attack monster and destroy this face down card, which now gives me a free attack directly to her life points of 1900 and will attack directly. And you'll see that I begin to deplete her life points. And we will continue to do this because she is really at a disadvantage at this point. She's relying on the luck of the draw, whereas I have a fully formed strategy. And she put down that card, but I can rest assured that the card is not going to be a threat to me. So I will go ahead and continue depleting her defenses and attacking her life points directly. And once again, I'll go into my end phase. And just if I rinse and repeat, I will eventually destroy her. She's just going to go until she has no more cards in her hand. And I'm just going to continue to do what I need to do to deplete her defenses and to break through her life points. And a couple more attacks in this way, and she's going to be dead. So now she's relying on the luck of her next draw. She better pull a monster or she's going to be dead. And we'll see if she gets lucky. Yeah, she got lucky. All right, so this card is a quick play spell card, which means I can play it from my hand. So you're going to get these prompts at every turn, because if I can play it from my hand and it has no activation requirements, then the game just says, hey, you want to activate this card? And it kind of gets annoying, but you can get around it. But for the interest of this game, I'm going to allow it to continue to prompt me. So it says, hey, you drew a card, and that card can be played. Do you want to activate it? No, I don't. And it's the draw phase. Do you want to activate it? No, I don't. And it's the standby phase. Do you want to activate it? No, I don't. So now, after everything that happens, it's going to ask me, do I want to activate this quick play spell card? So there's a way to stop it, and I'm gonna stop it. So we'll go ahead and, again, it wants to know if I want to activate that card. So I'm gonna attack her face down and do another direct attack. And she's got one more attack. So what she's really got to do is she's got to, as you can see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So when I end my turn, I will have to discard one of these cards into the graveyard. I don't want to do that, so I'm going to, in main phase 2, I'm going to set this card onto the field so that I don't lose it. All right? Then I'm going to end my turn. She's going to destroy that card, but that's okay because she's run out of any sort of defensive maneuvers, and she's going to die on this turn. All right, so we get these prompts again, and I'm going to go ahead right into my battle phase. I'm going to attack this face down monster, and unless she has a high defense, this will be the end of this game. And I win because I deplete her life points. So that is a demonstration of Yu-Gi-Oh! Using my Beat Stick deck, and it shows the elements of gameplay. I will put up more videos that kind of show you more of the gameplay elements, but these two videos, this one and the other tutorial that I've posted earlier, gives you a flavor of how to play the Yu-Gi-Oh! Game. If you're interested in playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I know a lot of it about it. I was a judge in the tournament, how do you call it, the tournament seasons and all of that, so I had a lot of insight into the games and its dynamics. So leave me a comment if you're interested in how to play this game, or if you have any questions, or if you're an existing player and just need to get some tips and tricks, let me know. Just leave me a comment. So as usual, thank you for watching. Don't forget to sub and like my channel. That's it for me. This is Kaz signing off. Take care. Peace.